Alright guys, it is Wednesday, January 27th, 2021 at 11:41 p.m. Alright guys, let's take a look at the stories we have. German quarantine breakers to be held in refugee camps, detention centers. It says Germans who repeatedly refuse to quarantine after being exposed to COVID-19 will be held in detention centers and even under police guard, according to reports. Officials in the state of Saxony, which is experiencing one of the worst outbreaks in the European nation, have already approved plans to hold quarantine breakers in a fenced-off section of a refugee camp, the Telegraph said. Another state, Brandenburg, also plans to use a section of a refugee camp. In Schleswig-Holstein, repeat offenders will be kept in a special area in a juvenile detention center, the report said. The state of Baden-Württemberg has 2 hospitals with rooms to hold the scofflaws, which will be guarded by police, the report said. The centers are aimed at detaining only those who continue to break lockdown, even after being fined, the report said. So that's pretty spooky to have German quarantine breakers being held at refugee camps. Alright, next. Oklahoma seeking to return $2 million worth of hydrochloroquine. Says the Oklahoman Attorney General Office is attempting to return $2 million worth of malaria drug once touted by former President Donald Trump as an effective treatment for COVID-19, a spokesman said on Wednesday. Alex Gerserski, a spokesman for Attorney General Mike Hunter, said Hunter is attempting to negotiate a return of the 1.2 million hydrochloroquine pills Oklahoma acquired in April from a California-based supplier, FFF Enterprises. He said the office was acting on a request from the Oklahoma State Department of Health, which authorized the purchase. A spokeswoman for FFF Enterprises didn't immediately return a message Wednesday seeking comment. The attempt by Oklahoma to return the hydrochloroquine was first reported by the online news publication The Frontier. Republican Governor Kevin Stitt defined the purchase last year, saying the drug was showing some promise as a treatment in early March, but they didn't miss an opportunity to acquire it. I was being proactive to try and protect Oklahomans, he said. A drug has been shown to have little or no effect on severe cases of COVID-19. Former state health officials chalked up Oklahoma's purchase to something that happens in the fog of war. So they're stuck with a lot of hydrochloroquine, and they're trying to get rid of it. Alright, next. COVID linked to mental illness, brain disorders, according to Oxford analysis. 1/3 of the people who have COVID-19 suffer some type of neurological or psychiatric disorder within 6 months of testing positive of the virus, with 1 in 8 receiving their first such diagnosis over the same period, according to a new analysis from the Department of Psychiatric at Oxford, which looked at health records from 236,000 patients. So the analysis, which has yet to be peer-reviewed, compared COVID-19 survivors to a group diagnosed with influenza and other cohort diagnosed with respiratory tract infection between January 20th to December 13th, according to The Guardian. So the analysis is showing that these guys are possibly developing mental illness or brain disorders 6 months after testing positive. So that's something to keep an eye out if you guys have ever had COVID. Alright, next. The FDA issues import alert for potentially deadly Mexican hand sanitizer. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has issued a rare import alert Tuesday on alcohol-based hand sanitizers originating from Mexico that could potentially be hazardous to the health and safety of U.S. consumers. Last summer, the FDA began to issue warnings for consumers about counterfeit hand sanitizers from Mexico. Since the notice and analysis completed, the agency found 84% of the hand sanitizers imported from the country were not in compliance with U.S. standards, even though many other products were labeled to contain ethanol, also known as ethyl alcohol, but tested positive for methanol instead. Methanol contamination. A wood alcohol is a substance that can be toxic when absorbed through the skin and life-threatening when ingested, the FDA statement read. So heads up, if you guys are getting hand sanitizers, just make sure it doesn't say from Mexico on it, because it could be possibly one of these that has methanol in it instead of ethanol. Alright, next. Audit finds 4 million Californians may have to repay COVID jobless benefits. An audit from the California Employment Development Department, EDD, finds the agency was unprepared and had ineffective management to handle the surge in jobless claims during the virus pandemic. In September, the Joint Legislative Audit Committee ordered State Auditor Elaine Howell to conduct an in-depth audit into EDD following the tidal wave of abuse reports. One of the most notable abuses was rapper Fontanelle Antonio Baines, 31 years old, who fraudulently collected $1.2 million in EDD claims. He even detailed the EDD scam in a rap video. So all these people who fraudulently collected money from this jobless claim benefits basically have to pay back all of that money, and who knows, maybe even face charges if they're convicted, just like that rapper who got $1.2 million from all of his fraudulent claims. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more news, and see you guys next time. God bless.